As you can see, a fine crowd starting to congregate for the opening on television of this 1985 Iowa Boys High School Basketball Tournament, a 3A semifinal with the Burlington Greyhounds, one of only 2 unbeaten teams of the 32 who came here, and the Waterloo Warhawks, who may have been beaten but are highly representative. Mark Zelich, everybody, happy to be here with Frosty Mitchell for another tournament. And this tournament is really fly and sky as we open up, Mitch. A couple of teams that can really move the basketball. 2 ball clubs who can really go up after the basketball. 2 ball clubs who devoured their opening round opponents, and one of them was Dubuque Wahlert. And when you take Dubuque Wahlert easily, as Waterloo West did, even though they may be not as rated as highly as Burlington is, you've got to have respect for them.
And the other ingredient is coaching, and they both have excellent coaching in the veteran Don Gibbs and Mike Hearn. And, of course, Mark, this could be a physical basketball game from the opening rounds that we saw. Burlington hasn't lost since they lost here last year in the consolation game. They've carried the burden of number 1 all season long. On the other hand, for West Waterloo, they come in with consecutive wins, only 5 in a row. At this point, you'd have to have 4 in a row to be this far. And I think from around both of these coaches, there's more pressure in this semifinal ball game, Mark, than there will be in the championship game. Get by this one, you're there. But this is the big hurdle.
You know, you mentioned an interesting thing just before we went on the air, Mitch, and that was how the officials will treat this ball game. These are 2 ball clubs, as we said, that like to run and gun. As you said, there's going to be some physical play. So obviously a key is going to be the treatment by the officials on how they're going to call the ball game.
And believe me, Rick Wilco and Bernie Sago, I'm sure are aware of that. And when you meet them in a few minutes, it's going to be Steve Carson and Terry Eaton, both from Des Moines. We saw them work yesterday afternoon. They are good officials, and they will let them play. And that's exactly the way both of these big AAA schools want it.
Let me whet your appetite. We have the number 1 scorer in 3A in Lawrence Ross at center for Burlington, coming into the tourney averaging 20.5, and the number 8 scorer coming in, Jeff Williams, a sophomore for Burlington. For Waterloo West, we have Chris Gaines, the number 5 scorer, coming in, and Anthony Thomas, number 8. But after the opening round game, Gaines is number 1. He scored 26 in that big win over Dubuque Wahlert, while Ross managed but 15. But these teams are explosive. Any of the kids on any of these ball clubs can get the job done. They've been called to their respective benches and coaches. We're going courtside now to PA announcer Bob Wilson for the introductions.
Good afternoon and welcome to semifinal action in Class 3A play. Both ball clubs are not strangers to tournament action. On the scoreboard, listed as the visiting team, will be the Warhawks from Waterloo West. Listed as the home team, the Greyhounds from Burlington. First, your non-starters for Waterloo West. Number 43 is Ken Harris. Number 31, Brian Jennings. Number 23, Darville Everett. Number 11, Greg Kemp. Number 51, Matt Flemmer. Number 35, Greg Zemlock. Number 21, David Greer. Number 33, Tom Wilkerson. Number 53, Paul Flemmer. And number 41, Reggie Mosley. The assistant coach for the Warhawks is Tony Byrne. Now for the Greyhounds from Burlington. Number 54 is Lance Boker. Number 50, Scott Brown. Number 44, Brian Whalen. Number 24, Pete Carlson. Number 14, Mark Johnson. Number 12, Dan Woodsmall. Number 15, Jeff Sourwine. 52, correction. Number 34, Randy Gibbs. Number 22, Rob Harper. And number 10, Jerry Porter. The assistant coach for the Greyhounds is Tom Elmore. And now for your starting lineups. At a forward for Waterloo West, number 45 is Anthony Thomas. For Burlington, number 30 is Jeff Williams. Number 25 is Chris Gaines. Number 32, Shane White. At the centers, number 55, Jim Norris. Number 42, Lawrence Ross. At the guards, number 13 is Terry Woods. Number 20, Charles Cannon. Number 15 is Larry Hodges. And number 40 is Baron Darnell. The head coach for the Warhawks is Mike Hearn, and the head coach for the Greyhounds, Don Gibbs. Our officials for the ball game: the referee is Steve Carson from Des Moines, the umpire Terry Eaton of Des Moines, the bench official Bob Oldus of Iowa City. And now, with Bob Schaefer directing, the West Waterloo High School pep band playing our national anthem.
And as you can tell, everybody's ready for this 3A semifinal. Waiting in the wings, Carroll Kemper and Fort Dodge. Those two also advanced. They'll be playing our second game this afternoon. And of course, this winner meets that one, and the losers will meet in consolation later on Saturday. But at the moment, it is Burlington, the Greyhounds. Perfect. The Mississippi 8 Conference champions meeting the Big 8 second place team, the Waterloo, or West Waterloo, the Warhawks, in what promises to be a real beauty.
That Big 8 championship team will be in later this afternoon. That's Fort Dodge. For Burlington, you mentioned winning the conference, Mark. They've won it twice in a row. Same kids.
Okay, we open up with the customary slapping of hands. And it'll be Ross. On your left, going up against Jim Norris. Ross is 6'3". Nope, I stand corrected. They're going to move Chris Gaines, a 6'3" junior, into jump. Or make that Anthony Thomas. Who's anxious?
That goes to show you they were ready to break for the bucket already. Now they've moved a man clear back to deep safety.
All right, they both come down. It is tipped into the hands of Larry Hodges. And we're off and running here in the opening frame at Des Moines. They go inside to Norris. Shane, nope, it was Ross who got him on the arm. So we have the first personal foul quickly. West
Waterloo is going west here at the auditorium. Take a look at the first foul in this ballgame. There's the high feed going inside, and the camera was across it, but they got him on the arm.
Chris Gaines, the trigger man, the leading scorer after one round of play with 26 points in his opener. There you saw Woods from the outside.
Three-pointer.
Give you an idea of what we're in for as we have West Waterloo jumping out initially to a 3-0 lead.
As a team, they tried 46 three-pointers this year, made 21.
Woods comes down, feeds it underneath, but too far underneath was Thomas. It went out of bounds. They'll award the ball back to Burlington. Here come the Greyhounds.
And for those people that are seeing high school basketball, maybe for the first time this year on television, Mark, there is no shot clock in high school basketball.
That's Darnell with a left and right hand dribble, giving it to White. Darnell picked up by Woods. Operating what appears to be against a man-to-man. They're going to call it on Woods. His first.
Team foul number 1. They're even on that. In high school ball, you shoot on 5.
Darnell take it out end line, front court. That's the east court here at Des Moines. We're located along the southern sidelines. They top it into Ross. Wheeling and dealing with that right hand. Gaines skies after it. Moves it up with a pass that almost got away, but Woods picks it up.
Beautiful save by Woods.
Inside to Norris, picked off by Ross. He gives it up to Darnell. Over on the far side to Cannon. Slapped off the board. They'll give him the 2 points.
Goaltending.
So Charles Cannon, the 6'1" junior.
All right, watch him get up.
Scores.
First of all, this man goes up. Now watch the block. He pinned it on the glass. That's goaltending.
That was Anthony Thomas who did the pinning. He's a junior, 1 of 4 that starts for West Waterloo. Larry Hodges into the front court. It's 3-2. Make that 5-2 as Thomas hits.
This court is 94 feet long, and they've used every foot already.
West Waterloo by 3 for the second time. 6.5 left to go. We're in the opening frame. 3A semifinal. That's Cannon, bombs away. And gets his own long rebound. Looking inside, nothing going, brings it out. Operating against a man-to-man. Both teams prefer the man-to-man.
At Cannon with the ball is a big guy, but he's 20 pounds lighter than last year.
That was intended underneath for Ross. Dug away, as you saw, by Gaines. Picked up by Thomas. He gives it up to Woods. Woods will try it.
That's exactly what demolished Dubuque Wallard here 2 days ago.
5 points for Woods.
They played that transition game, and they got the quick hands on defense.
So West Waterloo has a 5-point spread. That's the biggest. Darnell with the right hand.
Look at that.
Isn't that a beautiful move?
You don't do that in high school.
Jeff Williams. His first scoring. He got 14 in the win over Southeast Polk. He's averaging 12.
He might have learned that from his dad on one-on-one games. Sam Williams, Super Sam, the All-American at Iowa, under Ralph Miller.
That's Gaines on the far side, giving it to Woods. They go inside, tipped away by Ross, picked up as he lost it by Norris.
Wow.
From 14.5 feet, Norris, his first scoring. He's averaging 12, and he scored 12 in the win over Dubuque Wallard.
That's just instinct basketball. Go to the hole.
Second time by 5, West Waterloo. Burlington is yet to lead. We have not been tied. Stolen by Norris. It won't go, but of course he'll get a couple, and the foul will be whistled against Lawrence Ross. He picks up his second personal foul.
There's such a thing as a good foul. That was a good foul. It would be our first shooting foul. Watch him come down. He was coming up for a dunk or a sure two. So it was now the gamble's on. He's got to shoot to make 2.
85% from the line. Jim Norris averaging 12 points a ball game.
Big guy, 6'7".
On the sophomore team, that ball club was 18-0. Moved up to the varsity, so he's used to winning.
Waterloo West, the Wahawks, not Warhawks, but Wahawks. They were finished number 10 in the ratings at the end of the season, tied with Ankeny. Burlington, one of 2 unbeaten teams left in Iowa.
Norris gets 50%. He has a total of 3. It's 10-4. The spread is 6. That's the largest. First quarter, 5 minutes left to go. Burlington in possession, but not in the lead. Top-ranked 3A, unbeaten. The shot attempt by Williams is rebounded by Gaines, comes down in a rush. Perfect.
That didn't take very long, did it?
Seems to grab a skyhook when he's up there and just pauses in midair momentarily. And now the spread is 8. 4:40 left to go. Darnell venturing into the lane.
Boy, they respect him.
From about 10, Darnell, his first scoring of the afternoon. He's averaging 9, scored 12 in the Southeast Polk win. 12-6. Gaines down in a hurry. They pick his pocket, picked up by Gaines, however, and travels with it. So after he lost it, he tried to retrieve it, but he walked with it. They'll give it out of bounds to the Greyhounds, who are in their predominantly gray uniform here with the purple piping. West Waterloo in their predominantly old rose or red uniforms.
This is a Burlington ball club, Mark, that averages 70 points a game. They're sitting on 6 halfway through the first quarter.
That was Cannon trying to put it up to no avail. A little bit of bumping. The rebound comes down, and Woods on the race gets it, and he was fouled. They'll assess the personal foul to Jeff Williams.
Boy, they do like to run. Now, Woods will be the man. Lucky number 13 goes up with the wrong hand, actually. Reached up with the right hand. The ball went in. You saw him get fouled as they came back down. Now, he's going to have a chance at a 3-point play, a hat trick. But in high school ball, they also have that 21-foot line for a 3-point play.
A total of 7 for this diminutive guard, 5'9".
Only 51% of the season.
So it's 14-6 for the second time. That 8-point lead. West Waterloo. Darnell, who runs the ball club out at that point spot for Burlington, gives it over to White, to Darnell, to Shane White, back to Darnell. They're down 14-6. Ross from outside, and the rebound picked off by Gaines. The long pass to Woods. Woods with a pretty pass on the far side to Thomas. Woods with the assist. Thomas with his second basket.
And 4 out of 5 of those Waterloo people are juniors, Mark.
Number 1 is down by 10 right now. 16-6 in the opening quarter. But don't go away. Long way to go. The drive is by Cannon. The foul is going to be called underneath by Norris. It's a blocking foul. That's his first.
Out of bounds. I got it right here.
Number 55, Norris.
Mark, they've been behind before in the district tournament when they beat Keokuk 77-63. They were back at 12 points in the first half, came on to win.
That is White. And the rebound goes to Ross. The fade away from 15. Ross's first scoring of the afternoon. He's averaging 20 and a half, but he only picked up 15. This is Woods coming down in a hurry. Norris with the rebound, trying it. That's Thomas up out of the toaster. And he has a total of 6. Thomas, as you can tell, is a leaper.
Yep, he gets 47% of those for the season. He gets a lot of close-in shots.
18-8 by 10 for the second time. Moving in is Williams with that left hand.
How's that for a sophomore?
He, too, as you can tell, is a leaper. A total of 4. Gaines. Beautiful left-hand layup, and he is banged underneath by Jeff Williams. That is 3 on Williams.
20.
Another chance to get him 3 at a time, and Burlington wants timeout.
Give it up. Come on, 20.
We have a timeout on the floor as you watch the replay. Timeout on the floor with the score. West Waterloo 20, Burlington 10. Now this word from your local station.
Well, as we go back to it, Mark, now Waterloo is getting these 3-point chances. They made a 3-pointer from the field. They went to the line, missed on the hat-trick try, but going back out there will be Gaines right now. They've already counted the bucket, make it 20-10, but when you get them in clusters of 3, it's easy to get behind.
I think this is one of the quickest teams I have ever seen in state tournament play while I've been here, Mitch. Exceedingly quick and very, very fast.
Now here's a young man at the line in Chris Gaines against Waller. 26 points, 2 slam dunks. He doesn't look that solid, but he's the backup quarterback on the football team.
The rebound pulled down by Jeff Williams as Gaines misses. Stays at 20-10 with 2:40 left. Darnell coming down. And let's see, they'll also have a foul called on Gaines, who has picked up his initial personal foul.
Here.
So on this one, there won't be a shot. Well, it will be a shot. Okay, yep. I thought so. Take a look at it right in the traffic. That's where the going gets tough. Darnell Cannon trying to get through there. You saw the foul.
2, yeah.
So here is Baron Darnell, all-conference running back, leading rusher. And you can see why. Getting in his way takes a lot of courage.
Oh, look at the legs on that guy.
49% from the free throw line on the season, but perfect on that effort as he gets his third point. He's averaging 12. Averaging 9, excuse me, scored 12 in the win over Southeast Polk.
That guy right there was only 16 yards short of the school's all-time rushing record when the football season ended. He's a player.
Captain of the Greyhounds. 1 out of 2, slapped out of bounds by Ross.
This play.
No, it was slapped out of bounds by West Waterloo. And so the ball will go back to the Greyhounds, and Darnell will take it out. Eastern end line here at Des Moines. Out to White on the far side to Cannon. He draws iron, and the rebound comes off to Darnell.
Hey, this is 3 chances in a row to set the offense.
We're under 2.5. Opening frame, 20-11 by 9. West Waterloo, which is led by 10 several times. Darnell, and that's 3.
Well, we know now what they talked about at the timeout, because 2 out of the 3 offensive tries, Don Gibbs went for the 3-point play.
He has a total of 6, half of them on that shot. Of course, the spread is now 6. Into the front court, Woods looking underneath, nothing happening. Now it's a 2-3 zone. Comes up on top to Gaines. We're down to 2 minutes. 20-14, West Waterloo. That's Larry Hodges on the shot attempt and the pushing underneath. Oh, a grabbing foul underneath on Jeff Williams, and that's 3 on this sophomore.
Yep, and that's a lot of trouble for Jeff Williams. He had 4 personal fouls in that opening win that Burlington had so convincingly over Southeast Post.
And we've got Randy Gibbs checking into the lineup, 6'3" junior, if that sounds familiar. Pa works on the bench coaching the ball club.
Don Gibbs, a veteran.
And he says of his son, it's his number 2 son. Remember his son Rusty, Mitch?
You bet.
The kid doesn't make many mistakes, plays well in a reserve role. Here's the shot by Thomas. The rebound taken off by Ross. 20-14. Burlington could come within 4. Darnell from 16.5. Cannon on the rebound.
Well, it's obvious what they decided at that timeout. They're going to put it up in the perimeter. Here goes inside, though.
Beautiful move, but he can't get the 2. The rebound comes off to Gaines. He clears himself. The long pass down to Thomas. Look out.
I watched the clock. That took 3 seconds on the transition to score.
8 for Thomas, 22-14. Build it back up to 8 with 1:15 left to play. Opening frame, White. Gets the feel of steel, but that's all on the rebound to Gaines. Again, that long pass to Thomas. Will he give it to Woods? No, he'll take it himself. Whammo! Thomas has 10 on 5 field goals.
Mark, with a minute to go in the first quarter, they're on 24. They scored 25 in the first quarter against Dubuque-Wahlert.
For the 4th time, a 10-point lead by West. It had been narrowed to 6. Burlington with the basketball. It goes into Ross, guarded by Norris. Tries it. Beautiful shot by Ross off this near side. About 17 feet, I judge.
Burlington on 16 with 40 seconds to go. They scored only 14 in the first quarter, though, against Southeast Post.
We're down to 35. That's Gaines with the left hand. The rebound follow-up is by Hodges. His first scoring. He's averaging 9, scored 2 in the win over Dubuque-Wahlert. 26-16 for the 5th time by 10 points here in the opening frame. Burlington's basketball with 20 seconds left to go. Number 1, unbeaten. Beautiful move.
Wow.
And Darnell gets it. He has a total of 8, including that 1 3-pointer, 26-18. Watch the countdown on the screen as Woods handles it. Goes inside. That's Thomas banking it home beautifully. A dozen for Thomas. And that's the end of the first quarter with the score. West Waterloo 28, Burlington 18. We'll be back after this word from your local station.
By the kids out there, that's point number 28 for West. Mark, that's the most points in a quarter by a AAA team, but the most points any quarter, any team. Hull Western Christian with 34 against Webster City in the 3rd quarter.
That's the 6th time they've led by 10. West Waterloo out in front. Thomas has a total of 12 after the first quarter of play. 8 by Darnell for Burlington as we start the 2nd frame. We've had a change. Matt Flemmer, a 6'5" junior, number 51, is checked into the lineup in the center spot for West Waterloo. And let's see, the violation on the travel, which is whistled against David Greer, the 5'11" senior who just came in.
You know, with Burlington 10 points down, we have seen some horrendous comebacks in this tournament. Last night, Comanche came from 25 down to beat Winterset, so anything can happen.
That was Ross wheeling and dealing. The rebound bounced out of bounds. They're going to re-award the ball to Burlington. And, of course, they need it. They're down 10.
2 turnovers in a row. That was Anthony Thomas that just patted referee Steve Carson on the back and says, good call.
So the ball given to Cannon. Cannon picked up by Greer. Slapped out. But Darnell gets it. Woods went after him. Darnell sees a little bit of a seam. Slapped away by Gaines, and they're called the foul on whom? It'll be on Greer. So Greer has had a traveling violation and a foul here very quickly as he moved into the lineup. Coach calls him over to talk to him a little bit.
That's team foul number 4 on West Waterloo. Both teams will be on the line the rest of the way now. That's Coach Mike Hearn of West Waterloo. He played for Don King and Cedar Rapids Jefferson team here in the late 60s.
Darnell getting a pair. He missed his only other free throw. He is a 49%er from the line.
You got this, bro?
He is the only one who is less than distinguished as a free throw shooter on that Burlington ball club. The rest are fair to middling.
Mark, oddly enough, 59% for the season, and you're number 1 in the state. That's a remarkable stat. Only 59%.
So Darnell gets his 2nd free throw out of 4 tries.
Well, they're staying with that full court pressure.
28-19. This is Gaines coming across. Gaines, the leading scorer this year on that ball club. But this is the leading scorer last year, Thomas, and he is leading so far in the ball game. He has his 14th point on 7 field goals. 30-19. The spread is now 11. That's a new high for West Waterloo. This is Ross over the top of Flemmer. Rebound underneath, put up, and not good by White. Yes, it is. White on the tip in. Second time around.
Well, Burlington got 3 pokes that time. They're the shots that you like to have in close.
And that's his first scoring of the ball game. From the near side, this is Woods. 3 beauties. That's a total of 10 for Woods, his second 3-pointer of the afternoon, 33-21.
Woods had 17 in their opener against Wahlert, now 27 for the tournament.
That was a 3 attempt, I believe. The spread is 12. That's the biggest. This is Cannon going up, intimidated by Gaines, but it goes anyway.
Got the roll. You'll hear the coaches talk about soft iron here at the auditorium. They say these buckets are soft. Get the roll and you might get the bucket.
Long pass to Greer, lost it. Woods trying to hit him with that long run, couldn't handle it. It goes out. They give the ball back to Burlington.
That's the 4th turnover of the second quarter on West. Burlington needs the ball. That's helping them.
We have about 6 to play until intermission. Burlington has yet to lead in the ball game. It has not been tied. West Waterloo all the way. This is Ross. And it is Gaines. Getting up nice and high to sweep it. Moves it quickly into the front court. He'll try it from 15.
Wow.
He's got a beautiful touch, as you can tell. He has a total of 3 field goals.
Burlington played that defensively very well and still lost.
For the second time by a dozen. West Waterloo. Burlington handling the ball on the far side. Just White. Shot attempt. Slapped on the floor by Gaines. Ross picks it up. The fade away from 15. Darnell on the rebound from about 10. The follow-up is not good underneath by White. The follow-up is not good by Ross. Tucked it by Cannon. No good. Look at that volcano erupt. It's out of bounds. It'll be in favor of Burlington.
5 high percentage shots in a row, and the ball won't go in the hole.
We've got a timeout being called. Timeout on the floor with the score. West Waterloo 35, Burlington 23. Now this word from your local station. Some changes for the Burlington Greyhounds. Jeff Williams, who is nursing 3 personals, is coming back into the lineup, the starting sophomore guard. And we have Reggie Mosley, the 6'3" senior reserve, coming in for the first time. That for West Waterloo. The Warhawks, who lead out here 35-23 by 12, have led throughout the opening half. It's been their ball game so far. And the basketball belongs to Burlington. You're looking at Darnell, east end of the court, triggering it into Ross. Drops it in for Gibbs, puts it up, and the rebound is taken off quickly by Mosley. Gets it down court, slapped out of bounds by Ross, and he really takes a header as he headed off the court. He was going a million miles an hour.
He's way up towards the stands. They'll have to stop the game on this one.
He hit a fan.
Yep.
He bounced into a fan, and then we lost sight of him, Mitch. It was difficult to see. But boy, he was really moving.
What an athletic feat he made to even get that ball back in play. He dove, threw it behind his back, went up over a chair, ran into a fan, and then where the band is, right on the corner, it looked like he caught his foot on the bleacher as we saw him take a nosedive, but what a tough kid. Wow.
And his teammates are returning, so that'll lead us to believe that he's going to recover and be okay, which is really great news because, man, he was flying.
A chance to say, incidentally, that Dr. Harlan Hunter is here and his staff on duty of sports medicine. Take another look at it as they come down. Watch the body that comes flying out of there. He comes flying by. See that athletic feet save the ball, and as he goes off camera, he tripped over a fan and end of the bleachers. But that's our camera into the crowd right now. Drake University downstairs has a complete medical facility because this is the Bulldogs' home court. And Dr. Harlan Hunter and their sports medicine people are here and treat the kids. And so there's excellent facilities available. All rights to the 1985 Iowa Boys State High School Basketball Tournament have been awarded by the Iowa High School Athletic Association to Turner Television Productions, Sioux City. No rebroadcast, videotape, presentation, or other use of this telecast is permitted without the express written consent of William F. Turner, executive producer, Sioux City.
They continue to attend, Mitch, to Lawrence Ross. We cannot see what's happening. He is obviously on the floor. We assume that he's not too seriously injured. His teammates came back, but of course I'm sure the officials on hand there have said, hey, let's give this guy a little bit of room. Let us tend to him. So we feel positive about what's happening, but in all honesty, we don't know what's happening.
He is tough, incidentally. First team All-State defensive back in football. He set the Burlington school record for receptions for touchdowns and interceptions the same year. The leading scorer for a single. Kids call him Fing, F-I-N-G, big Lawrence Ross. His greatest talent, though, is a baseball pitcher, and he's probably a better prospect in baseball, possibly, than in football or basketball as far as college coaches are concerned.
Our director, Doug Brooker, got a camera over there, and now you've got a pretty candid shot. Well, I won't describe what you got a candid shot of. You recognize that by yourself. But in that lane, we're trying to get the camera close, and now you see the applause, which means obviously a good response from the fans who are.
And the tall fella, Coach Don Gibbs, that was in your picture there, is a veteran. He has great camaraderie with this basketball team. Of course, he has a son on the team, as Mark mentioned earlier. The Greyhound is coming back out, the mascot. They're giving him lots of room over there. But the Burlington, and, you know, having a nice conversation through the whole thing with the referees has been one of the young ball players that just having a good visit, talking about the whole thing.
There's the applause again. But again, we still don't see Ross.
Every precaution, I'm sure, is being taken.
Oh, yeah.
He was going full tilt. Here he comes up on his feet. You see him walking out of there. Lawrence Ross, a good one.
Hopefully the wind was just knocked out of him, and we always say just. Anybody who's had that happen to him knows what that can be. Although he seems to be holding his head, he may have hit that. This is all speculation on my part. I shouldn't even get into it because we didn't see what happened once he hit the floor. But fortunately, he's up and walking, being tended to. And I got a hunch he's going to be back in the ball game. And for Burlington's sake, that better happen because, as Mitch said, this guy is a great key.
There's a story of a ball game at this point that's 37-23. West Waterloo with a hot hand, 77.3. And you can see Burlington, a team that ordinarily shoots for the season 47%, is way under that. That's the other coach. That's Mike Hearn from West Waterloo.
West Waterloo averaging close to 73 points a game coming in, the #2 offensive machine in the 3A tourney. And Burlington #5 at 68.3 a game. West Waterloo right now playing like it. Burlington not quite, but we're back and going, so let's go. It's Jeff Sauerwein, a 6'4" senior, who has checked in, replacing Ross, number 52. This is Darnell on top, gives it to Williams. We're trying to reacquaint you with the players. Darnell, Williams, Sauerwein, Gibbs, and Cannon in that lineup currently.
Over here.
For Burlington, this is Reggie Mosley, 6'3", jumping against Cannon.
Jeff Sauerwein could probably play for just about any basketball team in the state of Iowa but Burlington.
Williams controls, gives the ball to Darnell.
He's a reserve, but a good one.
Gibbs handling it. That's Cannon with the move. Partially blocked by Norris. Got his hand on the ball niftily. The ball comes loose, and it's picked up by Reggie Mosley, the 6'3" senior. He was a starter last year. Mosley in a reserve role this year, but he plays a lot. So far, it's been Thomas and Woods for West Waterloo. This is Norris. The rebound, Cannon. Up after it beautifully. 37-23. That's 14. That's the biggest spread. West Waterloo enjoys it. A bell ringer from the far side.
Jeff Williams.
His first three-pointer of the afternoon, and he has a total of 7.
He hit 50% of those three-pointers in the regular season, 4 out of 8.
He has a total of 21 points in the tournament, having scored 14 against Wahlert. There's the shot attempt missed by Chris Gaines. The rebound goes to Burlington, which trails here 37-26. Blocked by Gaines beautifully.
Look out.
Is he going to try it? He is. Slapped, and they're getting the goaltend. That was Cannon who was on the board with the basketball.
Right, we've had a goaltend on both ends. So now
Gaines has 4 field goals. We have a change as Woods comes in. Mosley goes out. That's for West Waterloo. The young ball club, as we said, starting 4 juniors.
All right, take another look at it, and you'll see. Well, I guess we won't have time. There's the goaltend. See him go up on the glass. They pinned it on. He batted against the glass. Ross is up and walking around right now for Burlington. That's good news.
13-point lead. Burlington has the ball, but trails. That's Gibbs being hounded by Thomas. Picked his pocket.
He was thinking dunk, but he decided to go the sure way.
16 for Thomas on 8 field goals. He's averaging 14.5, so he's frolicking here in the first half. Having a great ball game. The spread now 15. That's a brand new high. West Waterloo having a great half. Darnell from 21 feet, but not 3.
Close. No cigar.
11 for Darnell. Gaines, a shooter. The rebound follow up by Hodges, no good. Norris, no good. Somebody pushed. That somebody was Sourwine. Sourwine, 6'4" senior, his first personal foul.
When that clock stops, Lawrence Ross is going to come back in this basketball game. Hey, how about that? Boy, that doesn't make you feel good.
It sure does.
He took a spill.
Gibbs comes out, gets a nice handshake from his dad on the bench.
Zealous, you or I took that spill, they'd be notifying next of kin right now.
Oh, mercy.
Wow.
Well, as you said, a superb athlete, great conditioning, and so many of them are, and they can take those whacks.
Boy, they gave him a great check, although they looked through all the teeth and they put flashlights in the eyes. The kid's okay.
Hodges, 62 from the line. 100% on that try. This is one of the team leaders. He's come on in the last 6 games and played beautifully for West Waterloo, which is highly representative, as you can tell.
You talk about Larry Hodges. We had a kid named Mike Hodges from Cedar Rapids, LaSalle, that was a one-man wrecking crew here the other day.
We sure did.
38 points.
Almost brought him back. He did bring him back from oblivion and almost won the ball game. Here's Darnell as Burlington tries to get back into it. Nice move by Williams.
Boy, that's a college move in high school.
He can score. They're going to give the ball back to Burlington on the miscue. 42-30, the spread 12, 2:18 left to go. Opening half, 3A semifinal. Now we give you a floor level look. As the ball is passed in by Darnell, carelessly picked up by Hodges. He'll try it from 16. Tried to bank it home. The rebound picked off by Williams. Down court to Ross. Look out.
He's all right.
Ross has 6. Slam dunk brings the Burlington crowd to its feet. Stolen by Ross. Lost it. Picked up by Woods. Ross, I don't know if he was hustled a little bit there by Hodges, but as you see, he had a little trouble finding the handle. Woods gets it, comes down against Darnell. Will try the shot from 13. The rebound is picked off quickly by Cannon. He comes down in a hurry with 1:42 left. He'll try it with the right hand. And let's see, a foul called on Norris. You saw Williams up on the rim trying to follow up on it. Did not. Norris picks up the personal foul. That is be his second personal foul. Man, the action hot and heavy. 2 free throws will be going to the shooter. Here's the replay. That's Hodges. Now you'll see Norris, who was moving.
You got a shooter. 2 times.
They were looking, Burlington, of course, for the charging foul, but you saw Norris moving. And as long as you move, here's a replacement. Back into the lineup comes Shane White. That for Burlington. And on the line is Cannon. Charles Cannon, the 6'1" junior. He left school in the 7th grade at Burlington, then came back last March from Arkansas, and they put him on the ball club. And here he is getting his 5th point in this tournament semifinal. 63% from the line. Scored 11 in the win over Southeast Polk. There's a candid look at this young man. Going to be back next year along with Jeff Williams, the sophomore. Something for Coach Gibbs to build on. So he has a total of 6, and now it's 42-34. We have a timeout on the floor with the score. West Waterloo 42, Burlington 34. Now this word from your local station. Burlington making a little bit of a move, down by as much as 15 during this period, has now come back within 8 with 1:39 left to play in the opening half.
What did we just have?
With time back in, Gaines will have the ball out of bounds.
Yeah, you got the baseline.
He'll have it at the eastern end line.
Ready?
Here at Betts Auditorium. This, of course, is the 94th court. Great auditorium with nice representative crowd on hand taking in this 3A semifinal. That's Hodges getting the ball off to Woods, trying to get by Ross. He does, lays it up, and he stepped on the line, on the end line, making the drive. Out of bounds. They'll give the ball to Burlington, which will have another opportunity to creep even closer if they can convert. Minute 28 left to play, first half. Carol Kemper, Fort Dodge in our second game. Darnell from about 10 feet. 13 for Darnell, averaging 9 on the season, scored 12 in the win over Southeast Polk, so he's having a good tournament. Hodges in the front court gives the ball to Thomas. 42-36. The difference is 6. Woods to Gaines. Under a minute. Against the 2-3, 2-1-2 sometimes. Gaines hangs on, indecisive. Bring it out to Hodges. He ventures in, traveled.
No, he walked. This way, no basket.
So Burlington scratching back into it. The Greyhounds have the basketball, and it'll be Jeff Williams, the sophomore, giving the senior Darren Darnell. Darnell with that right hand moving east here at Des Moines. 38 seconds left to play, first half. Darnell gives the ball out to Williams, ventures into the lane beautifully. Give Williams 11. He's averaging 12 on the season, 42-38. The difference is 4. It was 15. Great comeback by Burlington here in the second period. Hodges with 13 seconds left gives it to Gaines. You can see the countdown on your screen. Under 5, Norris. Lane violation called against West Waterloo. Burlington with the basketball, 4 seconds left in the half. Could be a 2-point ball game at intermission, believe it or not. It was 28-18 at the quarter mark. The ball passed into Cannon. Cannon from about 15. And that's the end of the first half with the score. West Waterloo 42, Burlington 38. We'll be back after this word from your local station. The Greyhounds have charged back into this 3A semifinal, coming on with a fine second period, outscoring West Waterloo 20-14, and as a result now trail by 4, having trailed by 15 during that second quarter of play. It's 42-38 with another half to follow, and then of course game 2, Carol Kemper and Fort Dodge in our second 3A semifinal here this afternoon. Tournament basketball from Des Moines. And we'll be back at Veterans Auditorium in a moment after this pause for station identification. Well, aside from the semifinals here this afternoon in 3A, this Iowa Boys High School basketball tournament will feature 2 championship games tonight. In the A class, which is the new and 4th class added this year, it'll be Lone Tree unbeaten 24-0 like Burlington. Those are the only 2 unbeatens in the tournament, any class, taking on Dayton for the title, and then it'll be Nashua going up against Grundy Center for the 1A title. Right now, we're going to go courtside and Frosty Mitchell.
You're seeing some great basketball, but behind the scenes of the basketball and all the other sports of the Iowa High School Athletic Association administration and organization. And you're looking to the chairman and the vice chairman. On my right, the chairman is Larry Parr, principal at Ankeny, and the first lady ever on the Board of Control. Where do you come from?
I'm from Fairfield and a member of the Board of Education there.
And you're being modest. I think you're a past president of the whole state organization.
Well, yes. The Iowa Association of School Boards appointed me to the Board of Control to represent school boards in the state of Iowa, and I was their president for 2 years.
All right. You're the first lady to be on that board. What's your capacity in the administration?
Well, now I'm vice chairman. I've moved up into the realm of responsibility like everybody on the board does, and I'm vice chairman under the chairmanship of Larry.
All right, Larry is the man we're going to talk to right now. Now, she represents school boards. Larry, you're a principal at Ankeny. What do you represent in this elected position?
Frosty, I represent the 64 larger high schools in the state of Iowa. However, the position I hold is voted on by all the schools in the state of Iowa.
Well, if you've been on the board and you're the chairman, you're one of the folks responsible for us going to 4 classes of basketball. What do you think after you've seen it?
Frosty, well, I'm personally very pleased, and I think the board in general is extremely pleased with this new class. Number one, I think we have to think in terms of what has happened to the enrollments of the schools of the state of Iowa, and we've had a tremendous decrease in the sizes of our schools, and the 4th class was really needed to meet a need for the smaller schools in our state, and I just think it's been tremendous.
Behind the scenes of the sports, Jackie, I read the other day about your board and the word catastrophic insurance. Now, what on earth is catastrophic insurance in sports?
Well, it's a tremendously exciting thing that's happening, because we're going to be protecting all of the students from 9 through 12 grades in case there's any kind of catastrophic accident. And the Boys and Girls Association.
All right. We have about 3 minutes before we start the second half of play, and right now we have Waterloo West returning to the playing court, and we apologize. We have just a bit of audio problem in the middle of Mitch's interview down courtside. Hope to have that rectified for you and maybe catch a little bit more of the tail end of it if we can. So please bear with us. An outstanding half of basketball. It turned out to be what many here had forecast, and that is a close game between these two. However, that was not characteristic of the early play when West Waterloo jumped out to a 10-point lead after the first quarter, 28-18, and then moved that 10-point lead up to 15 during play in the second quarter. And I think some people were wondering if indeed West Waterloo might have that kind of dominance for this ball game. But I think Mitch commented during our play-by-play that Burlington had been down behind before, had been able to come back before. They're not number one for anything, so that's exactly what they did, and as a result we have a 4-point game. We'll be back at Veterans Auditorium after this word from your local station. One of our favorite shots, a look at the cavernous Vets Auditorium here, and we'll be back after the start of the second half with this word from your local station. Here we go with the start of the second half just moments away. Both teams have returned, and that's the tail of the tape statistically. Take a look at the field goal percentage, and obviously West Waterloo has had the better of it there, yet the difference is 4. Remember, the free throws aren't that big of a deal. The turnovers, Waterloo West has dominated in that area, let's say, and that, of course, is a statistic you don't want to lead in. The rebounds, not that much of a discrepancy. Burlington on the short end of the score all the way here in the opening half of play, but coming back remarkably so, I think, in the eyes of many here, in trailing by just 4 after being down 15 in the second quarter. But as I said earlier, and as Mitch mentioned during the first half, Burlington has that capability, no question about it. It's one of the finest teams, if not the finest team in the state of Iowa, if you go along with the ratings. And when you have that kind of credential, obviously you're never out of any ball game. We have Frosty back up topside now, and we had some audio gremlins down on the court, Mitch, but nice to see you back.
Well, we'll get that worked out, because in between ball games, we've got a real interview coming up. Emmett Cooney and Doug Hoffmeister, the two coaches that play for the Class A championship tonight, will be with me.
That's right. One of 2 championships coming up tonight. West Waterloo gets the tip. That's Gaines on the far side, giving it to Woods. Inside to Thomas. The follow-up by Norris. So we're off and running here in the second half of play.
Waterloo drew first blood in the first half also. Mark, the amazing statistic to me for Waterloo, they had 10 turnovers to Burlington's 5, and Waterloo only 2 out of 7 at the free throw line, but yet they lead.
Jeff Sauerwein getting that basket, starting here in the second half for Burlington, his first scoring of this ball game. Quickly down, they bring it to Thomas. The spread remains 4 now. Thomas moves in. Nice touch. Give him a total of 18. 46-40. They build it up to 6. Third quarter just underway as White tries the shot. The rebound comes off to Sauerwein. Having trouble finding it. Finally picks it up and gets it out to Darnell. That's Williams. And Thomas slapped it out of his hands and picked up by Jim Norris. So West Waterloo, with that quickness of both feet and hands, has possession. Gaines looking inside. What appears to be a 2-3. On the far side to Woods. Tries to bank it home a little hard. The rebound picked off by Woods. Nicely.
Oh.
Beautiful move.
How many times did the old coach say, follow your shot? That time he got the dividend.
Not intimidated by the big people underneath. Gets his 12th point, and it's 48-40. West Waterloo now by 8. Darnell, nice pass underneath, and Williams scores.
Is this big-time basketball? Wow.
Give Williams 13, averaging 14 on the season. The shot attempt by Gaines, draws a little iron, comes off to Darnell. Passes it into the hands and out of the hands of Sauerwein, who perhaps didn't expect it.
Mark, now you mentioned Sauerwein is in there. Not only is Lawrence Ross not on the court, I don't see him on the bench over there, the lad that took the hard spill in the first half.
Now that you mention it, he is not on that bench, Mitch.
There's an extra chair over there, so we'll try and check and see what's happening.
Right on. He did come back, remember, after the injury and played in that second quarter. And, as a matter of fact, played quite well. We'll try and find out what the story is for you. 5:57 left in the third. This is Gaines going inside, trying to go over the top of Sauerwein. Tried to get it in, slapped around, picked up by Thomas, and what? Somebody grabbing? And that was Shane White. Grabbing inside, and he has picked up a personal foul. That is his first team foul of the second half.
You take a look at this, and you'll see where the contact is. That's down that hard hat area, Mark. Up there, got the foul, got the bucket.
And we take Thomas, who's a 56%er, and put him on the line. He has had one free throw attempt earlier, and he missed it. The follow-up is by Gaines. So they missed the one, but they get the two in the person of Gaines, who has a total of 10, 52-42, and it's up by 10. Quickly down comes Cannon. The rebound picked off by Gaines. Moves up court. Cannon tries to slow him down a little bit with 5.5 left in the third. Gaines trying to draw something. Nothing happens. Gives it over to Woods. Back to Gaines. Inside to Norris. Off to the right. Shoots with the right hand. And Sauerwein comes up with a loose ball. Throws it up court to Darnell, who will try it against Norris. Nice move. He was fouled by Norris. That is his second. Excuse me, his third. So Jim Norris is in a little bit of trouble. The 6'7" junior center for West Waterloo.
All right, you can take a look at this one. Good camera shot. There was Darnell. Good body shape. What's the coach say? Don't leave your feet, Mark. He left his feet, and you're dead when that happens.
Cardinal rule.
That's Coach Mike Hearn right there.
For the dribble. Okay, Darnell on the line can narrow it to 8. Darnell is 2 for 4 from the free throw line. He's a 49%er, so he's living up to his season percentage average.
Waterloo West offensively averages 72 points a ball game. They're sitting on 52 right now with 5:12 to go in the third stanza.
Darnell was here last year as a starter on that 84 team. 3-year starter, as a matter of fact. So his free throw shooting picks up. He's made the last 3 in a row after missing 2 out of his first 3.
You know, that Darnell might be a greyhound, but he's built more like a bulldog.
Oh, he's put together. 52-44. Passes to Woods from Gaines, and Woods gets the score by a nice assist by Gaines. 14 for Woods.
That was 5'9" that went up over all that.
He's averaging 11. Oh, beautiful steal by Gaines. And boy, he took a whack.
Good play, fellas.
There's a lot of contact going on out there.
Okay,
bounces up, though. Yep. Apparently okay.
Good sportsmanship. Darnell, he goes in here. This is not a deliberate foul. He's just trying to stop the action. Darnell comes in, left hand goes up, reaches across, and I think it was the foot that hooked on the shoulder as he went by and threw him to the floor. He helped each other up. Wow, we're seeing some contact.
Pretty resilient Chris Gaines.
Yeah,
starter as a sophomore.
He doesn't look that big. You stretch out 165 pounds on 6'3", but he's taken hits before. He's the number 2 quarterback on the number 2 football team in Iowa.
And you can tell with his spring, he's the number 2 rebounder on this ball club. Missed his only other free throw today. He has a total of 11. He scored 26 in the win over Dubuque Wahlert, so he leads the 3A scorers coming in to the semifinal round. Left-hander, obviously. 12 points for Chris.
That's Coach Don Gibbs chewing that gum there with a cross leg.
56-44. The spread is 12. It has been 15. It was down to 4 at the half mark.
They were down by 12 to Keokuk in the district. Came back to win.
Cannon trying to get around Woods. Does. Shoots over the top of Norris. And let's see, over the back. They're going to call it on Thomas.
Out of bounds.
That's his first.
Right here.
Team-wise, that's 2 on Waterloo.
32. Right here.
So the Greyhounds talk it over. Let's see, they'll be putting Jeff Williams on the line, a fine shooter, 49% on the season from the field,
won't be a shot, I don't
67%.
think.
No, I stand corrected. So Darnell takes it out of bounds. West end of the court, and picked off very nicely by Hodges to Woods on the reverse. Rebound tip to Gaines, guarded by Sauerwein, goes over the top, and somebody, Sauerwein, fouled him. And Gaines is down again. That turned him into a rubber ball. Sauerwein has his second personal foul. Gaines is exceedingly active, as you can tell. And now Ross has come back. Mitch has just pointed that out as Ross came out of the dressing room. So he's been attended to and apparently is okay. We have Gibbs back into the lineup. The coach's son, the 6'3" junior Randy, has come in as Sauerwein comes out. So we should see Ross here shortly.
Excellent medical facilities downstairs. Part of it, Drake University's that's used here, but it's a great place for a high school tournament.
So Gaines is 500 from the line as he's just missed after making 2 in a row. He missed his initial one. He's a 75%er, so he's much better than what he's showing so far, 56-44.
The leading scorer in AAA basketball in this tournament.
13 points for him. The difference is 13. And West Waterloo having a big third quarter as the shot attempt by Cannon goes astray. The rebound taken off by Thomas. He comes down in a rush. He'll try it from about 12, I judge.
But I can't believe this ball club came into this tournament 18-5, Mark. Those 5 losses were to Waverly Shell Rock, Fort Dodge a couple times, Cedar Falls, and Marshalltown.
Here's a guy with 20. He's averaging 14.5. That's Anthony Thomas, a junior.
If you're going to gel, they gelled at the right time.
Williams, the follow-up is by Cannon. You saw the air ball, and then it was Cannon right on the money. He has a total of 8 3 field goals, 59-46. It's 13. A minute ago, it was 15 for the second time.
One of their losses to Fort Dodge, incidentally, was double overtime.
This is Gaines going against Cannon, now against White. As I said, very active, very quick. You've got to stay on him inside the Thomas, over the top of Gibbs. Bill Woods will try. No, he put it up for the alley-oop. Beautifully executed. Woods with a superb pass, Thomas with the tip, and obviously a timeout on the floor with the score. West Waterloo 63, Burlington 46. Now this word from your local station.
All right, here's the high school alley-oop. That's Anthony Woods going to go up there and got the feed pass from Terry Woods. Anthony Thomas up for the tip in. Perfect, right off the glass.
Beautifully executed. West Waterloo has outscored Burlington 21-8 so far in this period. We have just under 3 minutes left to play. Mitch and I were commenting that the quickness of West Waterloo is truly remarkable, and even more so when you realize this is not a slow Burlington ball club.
That's right.
Folks, this Burlington team can move as well. That's Darnell.
He's going to take charge now.
17 for Darnell, 63-48. Burlington came back from 15 to narrow it to 4 at the half during the second quarter. They've got an uphill battle facing him again as Woods goes for 3. Gets ironed, but that's all. Darnell in the backcourt, almost fouled.
I'm not sure Coach Mike Kern really wanted that shot for Waterloo.
Ross back into the lineup, gives it underneath to Cannon. Cannon on the follow-up.
4 unanswered points. You're 63-50, and of course this has been a tournament of spurts so far.
Give Cannon 10 as you look at Hodges venture into the lane, tried from 12. Hodges averaging 9, has a total of 5 in this ball game so far. He scored only 2 in the Dubuque-Wahlert win. Darnell in the backcourt bringing it up with 2 left to go in the third. 2
veteran teams. West Waterloo's been here 13 times, 10 times Burlington. Neither one has ever won it all.
Burlington's lived here in the 80s too, Mitch. That's Ross with the bomb. The rebound tip out of the hands of Gibbs. Gibbs trying to plead his case as the pass is thrown astray, intended for Norris.
Fingertips that time. There's where the 94-foot court, just a little longer pass, probably a little more mustard on it than it usually takes on the high school deck.
Look at Mike Hearn, right? He's batting .436 in his career. Gibbs batting .687 in his wins and losses. Darnell being pestered a little bit by Hodges, gets into the front court with 1:35 left. Cannon bombs away. Tipped up by Gibbs, no good. By Ross, no good. The rebound taken off by Gaines. He comes up out of the toaster, sees a teammate down court. That's Norris. Norris will try it from about 13.5. The follow-up is by Thomas.
Well, that Anthony Thomas is the right man at the right time at the right place, always.
13 field goals for Anthony Thomas. 67-50. The spread is 17 for the second time.
It's a Waterloo team that averages 72 points on the season.
That's Ross getting half of it. Cannon on the follow-up, and he was fouled. They're going to call it on Gaines.
That'll be the 13th foul on West. Burlington has 3 also here in the second half.
And Gaines has 2. He has played splendidly. Minute 2 seconds left in the third. 2 fine ball plays.
They'll be shooting this time. Fouled in the act of shooting.
We have some changes. Jerry Porter, a 5'8" junior, coming into the lineup. That's a change for Burlington. And coming in is Matt Flemmer, who was in momentarily earlier for West Waterloo. He replaces Norris.
Jerry Porter, incidentally, is a junior in high school and only 16 years old.
He's played in 21 games. He's being groomed for the future.
Thank you.
And that's Cannon on the money.
One, that's all right.
Charles Cannon, 6'1" junior. As I said, came back out of Arkansas to play, came back and leads the ball club in steals.
Kids call him Pistol. He moved away from Burlington in the 7th grade. Now he's back.
So it's 67-52. 15 is the difference. Under a minute to play. That's Hodges controlling, gives to Woods. Had a hunch, changed his mind. Hodges will try it. About 19 feet away, I judge. The rebound comes off by Gibbs. Lost it. Woods will try it from about 15. Woods has 16. He's averaging 11 on the season, so he's having a sparkling tournament. He had 17 against Dubuque Wahlert.
That outlet pass for Burlington's caused him a lot of trouble today.
For the 3rd time by 17. That's right, Mitch, because it's been a quick team that's picked it off. Air ball followed up by Cannon. Cannon is fouled by Woods. His second.
Terry Woods is 150 pounds in the program. I doubt it. He's 5'9". They list him at 150. He's not very big.
He scored 30 against Marshalltown.
All right, take a look. And Woods is going to go get a rest. Here it is under there. You see him going up, and the little guy got a piece of the action going by. That number 13 was Terry Woods. He goes out. Coming in, Mark, is Tom Wilkerson.
Wilkerson is a 6'2" senior, number 33. Cannon with the left hand. He has been sparkling from the free throw line. Made 4 out of 4. Now his 5th consecutive free throw. He has a total of 13 points. 63%er on the season. Nice free throw shooting.
Boy, at this point,
Burlington needs everything. You better believe
it. You bet.
69-54. The difference is 15. We're down to 20. Gaines looks up at the clock.
One shot, apparently.
Yeah, they spread it out. Give it to Wilkerson. Wilkerson ventures into the lane, has his pocket picked by Ross. Very quick. In and out of the hands of Cannon with 2 seconds left.
That could have been a big opportunity.
Porter's pass was on the money, but apparently a little bit too hard for Cannon. So they give it out of bounds to Wilkerson.
Lay off now, lay off.
Into Gaines, slapped away, picked up by Porter, but that'll take care of. That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. West Waterloo 69, Burlington 54. We'll be back after this word from your local station. We go into the final frame. Burlington climbed the mountain in the 2nd quarter, got back into it, and the question here is, can they do it again in the 4th? They are down 69-54. They were outscored 27-16 in a big 3rd frame for West Waterloo. But bears repeating, Burlington is not the kind of a ball club to be counted out, and you can believe, Mitch, that West Waterloo respects them.
Right, it's a West Waterloo team that scored 59 points in the first 3 quarters against Southeast Polk. They've got 69 on the board right now, going at the 4th frame mark, and of course they only average 3 more than that for the whole season, whole game.
This is Cannon with the left hand. Beautiful rebound by Thomas. He's been a tower of strength. 26 points so far in the ball game. Terry Woods has 16. Great play by Chris Gaines. These 3 have been the heart so far of this ball club, which has a good lead going into the final quarter. The lead pass underneath to Norris, and he is fouled across the arm, apparently, by White, who picks up his 2nd personal foul. That'll put Norris on the line, a shooting foul.
Yep, it's 14 fouls also on Burlington. You shoot on 5 in high school ball.
And I think I stand corrected, Mitch. It was not.
Out of bounds. Red ball.
They're going out of bounds with it.
Right, the
got him before, apparently.
Umpire, I think, and referee a little disagreed on that, and the referee took precedence.
And Gaines gets the ball into Woods. Tries to shovel it away, and Ross steals it. They try to get it back from him.
Boy,
they scratch around for it. Cannon has it, and now dug away by Thomas.
Isn't that quick?
Remarkably quick. We hope you can appreciate that quickness at home as you watch. Thomas looks inside, nothing doing, gives to Hodges over on a three-point attempt by Woods. Nope, they give him two. Touch the line apparently, Mitch.
He's on the line. The appeal from the Waterloo bench, and the official said no. Two-pointer.
Stays at 18 personal points for Woods, 71-54. 17-point lead for the fourth time in the ballgame, the biggest.
Mark, for a combination of quick hands, spring jump ability, and speed, I'm going to go on record saying this is the quickest and fastest Triple-A basketball team I've ever seen in the state tournament.
Okay. Well, and of course, you predate me. I said earlier it's the quickest one I've seen, Mitch, in 15 years. Darnell has his pocket picked by that quickness. Hodges had it and threw it down. It goes astray. They'll give it back to Burlington. Man, you cannot rest for a moment.
And Burlington has to be careful to not make that mistake. They cannot catch up this many points all at once. That's Coach Mike Hearn. You can't catch up all at once. You got to catch up by twos and threes. They tried to go for a bunch in a hurry.
So here's Darnell coming up against Hodges with 6:40 left to play. Lost it.
Look out.
Yep. 3-on-2. The alley-oop. He tipped it away. I think he intended to tip it to Gaines, not to tip it in, and Cannon comes up with it. He'll come down in a hurry, picked up by Hodges.
Great body control to escape the offensive foul. That was gorgeous.
16 for Cannon, 71-56. West Waterloo's basketball. They have the lead. It goes inside to Thomas. Thomas tries to move around, and there's a foul underneath, and it'll be called on Williams. That's his fourth. He fouled Thomas.
You know, Mark, I mentioned a moment ago that it's the quickest and fastest. People might be saying, well, aren't they the same thing? Not in sports.
No, they are not. Absolutely.
Fast is a foot race.
It's
quick,
not a contradiction in terms. You're right.
Quick is start. They've got that quick start, which a great halfback or a wide receiver has to have. And they've also got the overall blitz speed when they just go the 94 feet.
Thomas with the right hand. First free throw that he has scored. He missed two previously. He has 27 now. Man, has he had a game. He's averaging 14 and a half. He scored 12 in the Dubuque-Wahlert ball game. 28 points. He has been the #1 scorer and rebounder in tournament play ever since the district started. The shot attempt by Williams. The rebound goes into the hands of White, slapped out of his hands, picked up by Cannon. He puts it up and in, and he was fouled by whom? Gaines? Looks like Gaines is pleading his case.
Take a look at it, make your own judgment. What a pleading look.
So we'll put Cannon on the line, and he has been superb from the free throw line, Frosty.
63% on the season. He's been there a lot of times.
6 out of 6 here this afternoon.
Every point is critical now for Burlington.
Masterful free throw shooting. Here into the ball game comes Reggie Mosley again. He'd been in earlier.
1927, Burlington was the state runner-up behind Muscatine. And the best West ever did, well, they won it in a different type of tournament. 1925, Shrimp Strobridge. It was a two-class invitational tournament then.
So we come back into play with 73-59 score. The shot attempt by Mosley, and boy, he gets back into the swim of things in a hurry. His first scoring of the afternoon.
He got open. He's a left-hander shooting from the right corner that time.
By 16, Darnell tries to pass underneath. I think Cannon was fooled. I think he thought it was going to be a shot, Mitch.
Yep. The fake by Darnell was so good, he faked out his own receiver.
Really. Hodges gets the ball into Mosley, drops it back to Hodges. 5.5 left to go in the ball game. 75-59. By 16, 17 has been the biggest lead. Burlington has never led in the ball game. It has not been tied. Try to get it inside. Ross saw it coming, picks it off beautifully.
Look at that.
2-on-2. Tries to drop it off, and it's off that Woods into the hands of Mosley, and Woods down court quickly. Drops it off, intended for Thomas. That was stolen by Williams. He gives it in turn to Darnell over on the far side to Ross. And the rebound taken by Woods.
Looked like a shuttle relay, didn't it? Back and forth. No shots, just hand the ball off and go.
Boy, the fire brigade. We have 4:55 remaining. This is Woods in the front court. Hodges against the 2-3. They try to go inside to Thomas, slapped away by Ross, picked up by Darnell. Back to Ross, goes behind him and out of bounds. So for Burlington, it's not running smoothly.
Ross went down again. He's getting up slowly.
We have a timeout on the floor with the score, West Waterloo 75, Burlington 59. Now this word from your local station. You're looking at the West Waterloo fans responding to a challenge from the PA announcer, and now the Burlington Greyhound faithful. And their faith now is being sorely tested as their ball club is down 75 to 59, 16-point lead, 4.5 minutes. It will take a dramatic turn of events for them to climb out of that hole.
Burlington has not lost since they lost on this floor in the consolation game a year ago.
Brilliant record. Woods inside to Norris, fouled before, and that's Williams picking up, I believe, his 5th.
Both clubs will be on the line the rest of the way. That would leave, incidentally, only one unbeaten basketball team in Iowa, the team from Lone Tree. And tonight we find out, are they unbeaten or unbeatable? And, of course, it'll be Dayton making that challenge at 6:30.
So Williams scores a total of 13. He's been averaging 12 on the season, at 14 against Southeast Polk. Has another game to play. If they continue to stay behind here, they'll move into consolation.
The guy that you're going to see on the free throw line, Terry Woods, in a moment, they list him 5'9" and 150. I doubt it. But if you're wondering about size, he was a defensive back on the state runner-up football team last year at West Waterloo. The kid is tough.
Randy Gibbs is just checked back in, and now Robbie Harper, a 5'10" senior, coming into the ball game. Both of those changes are for Burlington. Now here's Mr. Woods, who's had a splendid game. 18 points, and that's his 19th.
He set the West Waterloo record in assists, incidentally. His big point night was Marshalltown. 30 points in the famed roundhouse of the Bobcats. First time West had ever won there.
This is the second one. He has a total of 19. The basketball goes out of bounds, and there's a foul on the play registered against Reggie Mosley. So we'll walk down to the other end of the court and watch the free throw shooting take place on that. And there you see the official. And, you know, an interesting thing, we had the close-up of the official showing the bench exactly what had happened. I'd asked Mitch the other day, as you look at Coach Don Gibbs, why they pantomime out what happened. I thought it was for the benefit of the scorer, but it's not, right, Mitch?
No, it's for the participating coaches so they can see what their player did. He tells the number, and if it's a block, is it a charge, is it a hack, whatever the case might be.
All right, Charles Cannon off the front of the rim. Cannon gets his own rebound.
A tip from Russ.
That was Harper holding it. The shot attempt is good by Gibbs. Gibbs' first scoring of the afternoon, 76-61 by 15.
Half of the quarter yet to go.
West Waterloo with the ball, with the lead. Everything going its way so far. That's Gaines.
Very soon, Burlington's going to have to go to a three-point offense.
Speaking of 3 points, that's the third three-pointer for Terry Woods here this afternoon.
He made 12 out of 24 during the regular season. That's 50% shooting. Here's one.
The attempt is by Harper. So Harper gets into the ball game and parks one from outside the line.
The first one of those he had all year.
Nice artillery exchange, 79-64. Stays at 15 as a result. It was 18 just a moment ago. Up goes Norris. No good. The follow-up by Gaines. Massive.
Is he always in the right place?
17-point lead. 81-64. West Waterloo in control. The air ball tipped into the hands of Ross, however, from behind the three-point line. Gets the feel of steel, but that's all. The rebound comes off to Mosley, down to Woods. Wheels and deals.
A 360. He turned around the horn that time.
24 points for Terry Woods, over double his average. You talk about a big game for that youngster. 19-point lead, biggest lead of the afternoon. Trying to narrow it is Ross. The rebound goes to Cannon. He goes out to the line. That's only for two if he'd have hit it. The follow-up is Harper. The rebound goes to Mosley, triggers it out to Gaines. Obviously, the issue no longer in doubt. And if it was, that took care of any doubt. 15 for Gaines. A big slammer. Do we have a timeout being called?
Lawrence Ross
Apparently not.
shrugged his head.
Now we do have a timeout on the floor with the score. West Waterloo 85, Burlington 64. Now this word from your local station.
Take a look at Chris Gaines coming down the left sideline. Is he going to go up left-handed or right-handed? He's winning the foot race. Here he goes up for the slam dunk, and it's left-handed. He had 2 of those against Dubuque Wahlert also.
Interesting to ponder, isn't it? A ball club that is unbeaten, as Mitch said, since its last tournament visitation here a year ago. Ranked number 1. Anybody would tell you that this team would be down 21 points to any team, anytime, you'd scratch your head. And you cannot diminish what has been a brilliant record for Burlington, but boy, you have to just ponder in amazement what West Waterloo has accomplished here this afternoon.
Had a foul called on David Greer, who's in there now for West Waterloo.
That was Darnell.
Going to the line. Mark, amazing to me, in this tournament, they're setting on 85 points for the Wahawks of West Waterloo. They've only scored that points 4 times this year in their total of 23 ball games.
But yet, you know, they're a scoring machine averaging close to 73, so with the speed, the potential is there. But to do it against a team like this,
Burlington,
man.
Their high water mark was their last game of the regular season against arch rival East Waterloo. They scored 101 points.
And we've had 100 in this tournament already, too, Frosty.
Yes, we have. Whole Western Christian against Webster City.
Darnell gets 2 from the line. He has a total of 19. Made his last 5 free throws in the row. It would appear to be too little too late. Into the front court with the basketball comes Hodges. Gives the ball to Woods. We're at 85-66, 2:11 left to play.
Mark, after this ball game, I'm going to have Mike Hearn, the winning coach, on with me to try and explain this to us. And then I'm going to have Emmett Cooney of Dayton and Doug Hoffmeister from Lone Tree, who will play for the state title tonight.
That's Darnell coming off of the block shot off the far end. Norris tried to plead his case. There's the pass from Hodges down to Norris. And they'll give it, what, a goaltend? Yeah. Norris will get the basket. 7 points for Jim Norris. We have another timeout on the floor. We do, with the score, West Waterloo 87, Burlington 66. Now this word from your local station. There you see some of the paraphernalia being worn, some of the masks being worn. There's even a lot of facial graffiti in this tournament, more I think than I've ever seen before, as these people have themselves a ball. A lot of fun. A lot of costuming. As I said, a lot of grease paint being worn. We have some changes. Let's try and recognize these people for you. Tom Wilkerson is in the lineup for West Waterloo. Darrell Everett is in the lineup. So is Paul Flemmer, a 6'5" junior. We'll try to get others for you as you take a look at Porter trying the shot. The rebound underneath taken off. And moving up with the basketball is Jennings. A traveling violation. They'll give the ball back to Burlington. In the lineup for Burlington, we have Brown.
Right here,
or will we have a
spot
free throw coming? No, they're going to take it off on the side. Okay. Brown. Mark Johnson is in the lineup. That's Johnson handling the basketball. Doing the sour wine. Johnson. So Mark Johnson gets scoring here in the semifinal, 87-68. Quickly into the front court comes West Waterloo in the person of David Greer. The shot attempt, battle for Sauerwein, rebounds it for Burlington in the backcourt. It's stolen away from him and put home by Paul Flemmer, the 6'5" junior. 89-68, 21-point difference. 1 minute left to play. Porter moves in, puts it underneath the Sauerwein. 4 points for Jeff Sauerwein. As you watch the countdown on your screen, West Waterloo in the person of Wilkerson. The rebound and a foul underneath. They're going to whistle the foul on David Greer.
Yeah. Red.
There's a look at Greer.
Underneath. We got a 1-and-1.
The 5'11" senior. We'll walk down to the opposite end. We have some changes coming in. Greg Kemp, number 11, a 5'10" sophomore, is checked into the lineup. For West, let's see who else is in there. Brian Jennings, I think I mentioned him. On the line, shooting the free throw will be Scott Brown, the 6'1" junior. The long rebound comes out in the hands of Kemp. He lost it. Picked up by Brown. Gets it down to Sauerwein. They try to slap it away. He tried to get it over to Brown, but it was stolen by Kemp. Kemp going all the way down. And Kemp scores here in this semifinal. And of course, that's a thrill for the reserves, not only to get in, but to score 91-70. Big score. This pass is stolen away by Kemp. The shot attempt, battle for underneath, and it tipped up and tipped in by Kenny Harris, 6'5" junior, 93-70. Incredible. No time left. That's the end of the ball game with the score: West Waterloo 93, Burlington 70. We'll be back after this word from your local station. A resounding win here this afternoon by West Waterloo, 93-70 over top-ranked and previously unbeaten Burlington. I think in the minds of many, there was the thought that certainly West Waterloo could prevail in the ball game, that would be close, but no one in his wildest imagination. As you take a look at Coach Mike Hearn, who himself must be pondering, boy, what did we do so right to dominate so completely over an excellent basketball team like Burlington and win it 93-70. Anthony Thomas with 28, Terry Woods with 24 sparkled in that massive victory, and there you can see the joy that comes with that big win. And they now move, West Waterloo does, into the championship against the winner of our second ball game today, Carroll Kemper and Fort Dodge. We'll be back at Veterans Auditorium after this word from your local station. There's a glamour shot of Vets Auditorium, at least that's what I call it. An outstanding facility for basketball, a crowd on hand still buzzing at what happened. Burlington never led in the ball game. The ball game was never tied. It was West Waterloo's ball game from start to finish. Interestingly enough, they broke it open and led by as much as 15 in the first half. Burlington clawed back in it, trailed only by 4 at halftime. But then a big third quarter seemed to end it. 27-16, West Waterloo outscoring Burlington. And from there on in, West Waterloo simply roared home, winning by 23, the biggest lead of the afternoon, 93-70. Just a stunning victory over the Burlington Greyhounds, who now go into consolation and will meet the loser of our second game between Carroll Kemper and Fort Dodge. Those two ball clubs are out there, and you're watching them right now. As a matter of fact, the ball club nearest to you as you look at them are the Dodgers of Fort Dodge, Carroll Kemper, and there's a good close-up look now of Fort Dodge, which comes into this ball game with a 19-2 record after having sidelined Dowling of West Des Moines. That's no easy task. John Labonia had a good basketball team. It did not have a distinguished record, but it did have distinguished play during the season against some excellent competition. Carroll Kemper knocked out Cedar Rapids, Washington, and Kemper now is 21-2. That wasn't a bad Cedar Rapids, Washington ball club as anyone will tell you as well. And speaking of them, incidentally, Mike Hearn, who you'll be visiting with in just a moment as he visits with Frosty Mitchell, played for Don King at Cedar Rapids, Washington during his high school years. So there's a lot of that intertwining. But it nevertheless is West Waterloo now in the 3A championship. We have Coach Hearn courtside now with Frosty Mitchell. This should be interesting to listen to. Gentlemen.
You're looking right now at a guy that just won his way into the center circle for Saturday night's marbles. Mike Hearn of West Waterloo. Wow, Coach, you guys are awesome.
Well, that's about the only way to explain it. I'm not really sure what these guys have caught, but whatever it is, I just hope it continues on for about 24 more hours. We're going to have our hands full tomorrow, but we're glad we're in it.
Well, you know, Coach, until I guess the tip-off on you was when you scored 101 against East Waterloo in that final regular season game. Has this just happened? Have you just gelled?
Well, actually, we've been up and down all year. We've had a couple of high spots and a couple of valleys, Frosty, but I think our kids are a type of team that likes to play this kind of style of basketball. You know, people get the ball out and try to run against us, and that's right down our alley. We get the ball out and kick it out and make you know, a key rebound here and there and a key shot here and there. But I think our defensive effort is what makes our running game go.
Well, Mike, I had a philosophy during your game. This court's 10 feet longer than a high school court. That might help your type of game.
I think it certainly does. Anytime you've got the kind of quickness and speed that we've got, and we have an opportunity to use it on a court of this size, it just spreads us out a little bit more and lets us get a chance to trap and use our hands and feet and move up and down the floor. I'm really pleased with our effort.
Hey, you're looking good. Mike, you were here as a player in the late 60s for Don King. Now you've got a group of kids here. What's the bigger thrill, coach or player?
Well, I don't know. I've never felt this kind of a thrill before in my life as far as coaching basketball is concerned, so I'd have to say right now is.
All right, you got another hurdle tomorrow night. If it's Fort Dodge, you don't need a scouting report. If it's Carroll Gimper, do you have a choice?
Actually, it doesn't make any difference to me. I think for the sake of our conference, it'd be awful nice to see us in a all Big 8 conference finish. Fort Dodge played us twice during the regular season. We got beaten double overtime at their place. They beat us by 10 at our place. But both games are very close.
How about a game like this? Your kids look like they could play 5 quarters. Are they in that good a shape?
Well, one of the advantages that we have is I've actually got about 12 kids that could all play. And I've had a heck of a time this year trying to decide who our starting 5 are. Our depth has really helped our conditioning. We can take guys out for a minute or two, set them down, send them back in, and everybody seems to be fresh. We worked real hard on the conditioning part of our program clear back in October, Frosty.
All right, Mike, these kids, some of them played on a runner-up state championship football team that lost to Sioux City. How important has that been to your basketball success?
Well, I think that helps immensely. The pressure and the constant agony of wondering how to defend somebody and preparing yourself from a scouting report point of view and then playing in front of that many people in the Unidome, I think that helps our kids.
Well, certainly they've come out of the starting blocks fast in both ball games. Give us a little scouting report on Fort Dodge. You've played them twice.
Well, our matchups are almost comparable. They've got a big kid, 6'8", Jimmy Crooks, who's a very powerful post player. We match up with Jim Norris on him. The rest of our people around the perimeter and one more left-hander named Murphy, you know, size-wise, it's going to be a dream world matchup, if you ask me. They have comparable quickness. J.D. Crumley and this Thomas Clark, 2 excellent guards. It's difficult to say. I'm glad. I hope we have an opportunity to play them.
All right, Mike, you've had to move a senior that started last year to the bench this year. You go with 4 juniors out there a lot of the time. Sometimes this is a problem. It doesn't show on your ball club.
I tell you what, Frosty, that's been an amazing part of these kids. We've got guys that have about 300 minutes less playing time than they did last year. And they're still able to come off the bench with the right kind of attitude. They practice hard. They're there every day. It's really a compliment to their character.
Mike, I know you're wanting to get down and meet with those kids in the locker room, and good luck to you. The state of Iowa is going to take another look at you tomorrow night. If I've ever seen a club on a roll, you're it.
We certainly are. Thank you very much.
Mike Hearn from West Waterloo Warhawks, and they are right now the hum and buzz, the talk of this auditorium. Let's go back to Mark Zelich.
And we'll be back at Veterans Auditorium after this word from your local station.